On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected. Aristotle, one of history's greatest philosophers, died in 322 BCE at the age of 62. His death was due to a natural cause, either a digestive illness or, as some accounts suggest, a stomach disease. Unlike the dramatic ends met by some of his contemporaries, Aristotle's passing was not the result of political execution or battlefield tragedy, but it did occur amid personal and intellectual upheaval. His final years were marked by exile from Athens, a poignant reflection of the volatile relationship between great thinkers and the societies they seek to shape. The immediate consequences of Aristotle's death were significant for the intellectual world. His departure left a void in the philosophical and scientific traditions of the time, yet his works, spanning ethics, metaphysics, biology, and politics, ensured his lasting influence. His school, the Lyceum, continued his legacy, though it faced challenges in the shifting political climate of post-Alexander Greece. Aristotle's exile in Chalcis, before his death, underscores the persistent tension between philosophical inquiry and political authority. He had been a tutor to Alexander the Great, but after Alexander's death in 323 BCE, anti-Macedonian sentiment in Athens rose. Faced with the possibility of a fate similar to Socrates, who had been condemned to death, Aristotle reportedly left Athens, stating he would not allow the city to sin twice against philosophy. In death, Aristotle's legend only grew. His works were meticulously preserved and studied, forming the foundation of medieval Islamic and Christian scholarship. The Renaissance revival of classical knowledge reaffirmed his status as one of the cornerstones of Western thought. Unlike rulers or warriors who were memorialized through monuments, Aristotle's immortality was secured through the endurance of his ideas. His influence persisted through centuries, shaping everything from scientific methodology to political theory. Aristotle's death, though not violent or sensational, reflects a fundamental struggle between intellectual pursuit and societal constraints. His exile and passing remind us that even the greatest thinkers can be subject to political forces beyond their control. Yet, his legacy demonstrates how ideas can outlive their creators, reshaping civilizations long after their time. In commemorating figures like Aristotle, humanity reveals its deep respect for knowledge and the transformative power of thought. Art, literature, and education ensure that his contributions remain relevant, proving that while death is inevitable, the influence of groundbreaking ideas can be eternal. Stanley Kubrick, the legendary filmmaker behind such masterpieces as 2001, A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, and The Shining, passed away on March 7, 1999, at the age of 70. His death was due to a heart attack while he was asleep at his home in Hertfordshire, England. This natural passing came at a pivotal moment, just days after he had completed the final cut of Eyes Wide Shut, his long-anticipated final film. Given Kubrick's reputation for meticulous perfectionism and the secrecy surrounding his projects, his sudden death fueled widespread speculation and intrigue. Some questioned whether he had intended further edits to the film, while others delved into conspiracy theories regarding the film's controversial themes. Kubrick's passing reflected the immense pressures of the cinematic world he inhabited, one that demanded obsessive precision and artistic vision. The late 20th century had seen an increasing shift in filmmaking, with the rise of studio dominance and commercial-driven narratives. Kubrick, in contrast, embodied the old-world auteur, fiercely protective of his creative control. His reclusive nature and exacting standards often placed him at odds with Hollywood, yet his films transcended traditional storytelling, offering deep, sometimes unsettling reflections on human nature. His death, in a sense, marked the end of an era of filmmaking where directors had unprecedented creative authority. The immediate consequences of Kubrick's death sent ripples through the film industry. Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, was released posthumously and received mixed reviews. Many debated whether the final cut truly represented Kubrick's complete vision, or if studio executives had made alterations. His absence left a void in cinema. His unique approach to storytelling, characterized by philosophical depth, innovative cinematography, and psychological complexity, remained unmatched. Film scholars and cinephiles lamented the loss of a mind that had persistently pushed the boundaries of the medium. In death, Kubrick's legend only grew. His works, once polarizing, became revered as some of the most intellectually and visually stimulating films ever created. 2001. A Space Odyssey, initially met with bewilderment, was reevaluated as one of the greatest science fiction films of all time. Similarly, The Shining evolved from a film criticized by its own author, Stephen King, into a cultural touchstone. His meticulous filmmaking techniques, such as his pioneering use of the Steadicam and his relentless demand for multiple takes, became textbook studies for aspiring directors. Kubrick's death underscores humanity's complex relationship with mortality, power, and memory. His films often explored themes of existential dread, the dehumanizing effects of technology, and the fragile nature of control, ideas that resonate even more profoundly in the modern era. Unlike many filmmakers who fade into obscurity, Kubrick's influence has only intensified. His works are continuously analyzed, referenced, and celebrated in academia, film schools, and pop culture. Documentaries, essays, and homages ensure that his cinematic legacy remains vivid. His passing, while marking the end of his direct contributions to film, cemented his status as an immortal visionary whose work continues to challenge and inspire generations. Divine, born Harris Glenn Milstead, was a groundbreaking performer whose larger-than-life persona revolutionized drag film and queer representation in entertainment. His death on March 7, 1988, was both sudden and deeply symbolic of the struggles and triumphs he experienced in his lifetime. Suffering from an enlarged heart, Divine died in his sleep from heart failure in Los Angeles at the age of 42, just as he was on the verge of breaking into mainstream television with a recurring role on the hit sitcom Married with Children. His passing reflected the challenges faced by queer artists who worked tirelessly to carve spaces for themselves in a world that was only beginning to acknowledge their cultural significance. Divine had spent decades pioneering gender nonconformity in cinema, often collaborating with director John Waters to create some of the most subversive and influential underground films of the 1970s and 1980s. His death occurred at a moment of transition as drag culture was moving from the fringes into broader recognition, a process that would later be amplified by figures like RuPaul and shows such as RuPaul's Drag Race. The immediate consequences of Divine's death were profound. His absence left a significant void in queer cinema, as he had become an icon of unapologetic self-expression. His close collaborator John Waters, as well as the wider LGBTQ+ community, mourned the loss of a performer who had pushed the boundaries of film, music, and gender identity. Additionally, Divine's passing robbed mainstream audiences of witnessing his comedic and dramatic range beyond the drag persona that had made him famous. His role on Married with Children was expected to be a major departure from his previous work, potentially shifting perceptions of him from cult icon to household name. Despite his untimely death, Divine's legend only grew. Over time, he has been immortalized in numerous ways, through tributes in film and music, academic discussions on drag and queer representation, and even in the look of Ursula, the villainous sea witch in Disney's The Little Mermaid, whose character design was directly inspired by Divine's aesthetic. His influence has persisted as drag culture gained widespread popularity, and he remains an enduring symbol of defiance, humor, and self-acceptance. Divine's passing underscores the broader conversation about mortality, power, and memory. It serves as a reminder that cultural pioneers often struggle for recognition in their lifetime, yet their influence reverberates long after they are gone. Through art, literature, and ongoing celebration in LGBTQ+ spaces, Divine continues to inspire generations of performers and audiences, proving that authenticity and courage can leave an indelible mark on history. Steve Lawrence, an iconic American singer, actor, and comedian, passed away on March 7, 2024 at the age of 88 due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. His death, though natural, reflects the tragic reality of neurodegenerative diseases, which continue to challenge medical science and affect aging artists whose legacies are deeply tied to their ability to perform. Lawrence had publicly revealed his diagnosis in 2019, allowing fans to witness his battle with the disease, a rare instance of openness about a condition that often remains shrouded in privacy. His passing marked the end of an era for the golden age of variety entertainment, where singers and comedians flourished in the nightclub and television circuits. The immediate impact of Lawrence's death was felt most profoundly in the entertainment industry and among his devoted fans. Having been one half of the beloved duo Steve and Heidi alongside his wife, Heidi Gourmet, Lawrence symbolized an era of classic pop and variety show entertainment. His voice, charisma, and comedic timing had cemented his status as a mainstay of mid-20th century American entertainment. His son, David Lawrence, continues to honor his parents' legacy through a tribute show, ensuring that their contributions to music and performance endure. Lawrence's death, though not as sudden or shocking as some of history's most dramatic passings, still underscores the cultural shift away from the golden age of variety show performers. He belonged to a generation where entertainers honed their craft across multiple platforms: live performances, radio, television, and film, something increasingly rare in today's more specialized entertainment landscape. His passing is a reminder of the gradual fading of that era and the importance of preserving its contributions. In many ways, Lawrence's legacy has been amplified posthumously. His work in music, television, and Broadway remains celebrated, with fans and historians revisiting his performances. Tributes from the entertainment industry reflected the deep respect he garnered, not just for his talent, but also for his professionalism and dedication. The way we commemorate figures like Steve Lawrence highlights our evolving relationship with memory and legacy. While grand statues and monuments are often reserved for political or historical figures, entertainers achieve a different kind of immortality through their recordings, performances, and the continued admiration of future generations. Lawrence's presence in popular culture, from his music to his appearances on iconic television shows, ensures that his influence persists. Ultimately, his passing serves as a poignant reflection on the passage of time and the way society preserves artistic legacies. Steve Lawrence's career exemplifies the enduring power of entertainment to bring joy, nostalgia, and inspiration, ensuring that even in death, his voice continues to resonate. Paul Winfield's passing on March 7, 2004, from a heart attack at the age of 62, reflected both the private and public struggles he faced throughout his life. As an actor who frequently portrayed figures of resilience and dignity, his death symbolized the broader challenges faced by African American artists of his generation. His career was shaped by a time of racial and social transformation in Hollywood, and his work helped pave the way for greater representation of Black actors in serious, multidimensional roles. His passing marked not just the end of a distinguished career, but also a moment of reflection on how far the industry had come and how far it still had to go. The immediate consequences of Winfield's death were felt most strongly in the film and television communities, particularly in the realm of Black cinema and theater. His loss, was a reminder of the ongoing need to honor and preserve the legacies of pioneering actors who had broken barriers. With roles ranging from a sharecropper in Sounder to Captain Tyrrell in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Winfield demonstrated a remarkable versatility that defied industry stereotypes. His work on City Confidential as a narrator also left a lasting impression, as his deep, authoritative voice became synonymous with storytelling in the true crime genre. Winfield's death amplified his legend in some respects, particularly as discussions of LGBTQ+ representation in Hollywood have gained prominence in the years since. Though he lived discreetly as a gay man for much of his career, his long-term partnership with Charles Gillen Jr. was later recognized as a testament to his personal authenticity. In many ways, his legacy is twofold. As an actor who brought humanity to roles that were often denied to black performers, and as a man whose personal life reflected the quiet struggles of many LGBTQ+ figures in the entertainment industry. His passing also underscored the health disparities affecting black men, particularly regarding obesity and diabetes, conditions that disproportionately impact African American communities. His death was not just a loss to Hollywood, but a reminder of the broader social and health inequities that persist today. As with many iconic actors, Winfield has been immortalized through his filmography, his influence on younger black actors, and the enduring power of the stories he helped tell. His portrayals of Martin Luther King Jr. and other historical figures remain significant touchstones in cinematic history. Through retrospectives, film screenings, and continued scholarly analysis of his work, Winfield's contributions to film and television continue to be celebrated. His legacy is a testament to the power of representation and the lasting impact of those who push boundaries within their craft. Pamela Bach, an American actress known for her roles in Baywatch and The Young and the Restless, lived a life in the public eye, but her final moments revealed the private struggles that often remain unseen. On March 7, 2025, she was found deceased in her Los Angeles home from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The tragedy of her passing highlights the silent battles individuals face, even those who have achieved fame and success. Bach's career spanned television and film, and she was also known for her high-profile marriage to David Hasselhoff. While she gained recognition for her acting roles, her personal life often made headlines, particularly during her divorce. Like many public figures, she navigated both the admiration of fans and the scrutiny of the media. Her death reflects the ongoing challenges of mental health in the entertainment industry, where the pressure to maintain a certain image can be overwhelming. The immediate consequences of her passing were felt most deeply by her family, including her daughters, who mourned her loss and shared memories of their mother. Public reaction was a mix of shock and sadness as fans and colleagues reflected on her contributions to television and the entertainment world. Though her passing did not drastically shift the industry, it reignited conversations about mental health awareness, particularly regarding the emotional toll of life in the spotlight. Bach's death serves as a reminder that public perception often differs from personal reality. Fame does not grant immunity from pain, nor does it provide a safeguard against the internal struggles many endure. Her passing adds to a long history of entertainment figures whose personal battles ended in tragedy, reinforcing the need for greater awareness and support for mental well-being. Society immortalizes figures like Pamela Bach through their work, the memories of those who knew them, and the ongoing conversations sparked by their lives. Retrospectives on her career, tributes from family and fans, and discussions about the pressures faced by public figures ensure that her legacy endures. More importantly, her story serves as a call to recognize and address the importance of mental health, not just for celebrities but for all who struggle in silence.